Hey everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. This time, we're going to be heading to India, specifically to the Godavari River.
All right.
Yeah, we always like to blend those real geographical locations
Absolutely.
with some great mythology.
Yes.
And this one is packed with some good stories. We're going to be talking about kings who are trying to make some serious spiritual advancement. We've got a monkey-faced apsara.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, right. And we've even got a place that's said to be so powerful it can grant you the benefits of 10 horse sacrifices.
Okay, now that's a good one. I want to hear about this.
Right. I mean, who wouldn't want that?
Exactly.
So let's just jump right in.
Okay.
Our first story revolves around this ambitious king. His name is King Pavan. And King Pavan wants to perform 10 Ashvamedha sacrifices.
Whoa.
Simultaneously.
10 at the same time.
At the same time. Can you imagine the logistics of that?
Oh my gosh, no.
I mean...
That's a lot of horses, first of all.
Right.
Right. It's a huge amount of resources.
Uh-huh. It's...
Personnel you need.
Yeah.
Priests you need.
The planet.
The time. Oh, it's a big deal.
Yeah, and I think just to give our listener a little bit of background,
Sure.
the Ashvamedha sacrifice.
Yeah.
It was a huge Vedic ritual.
It was a big deal. We think about Vedic rituals.
Right.
There's a lot of them.
Right.
But this was one of the most significant ones.
Yeah.
Involving often a horse sacrifice. But it was really all about showcasing a king's power and securing prosperity for his kingdom.
Yeah, so 10 at once. That's a statement.
Oh, yeah. You're putting yourself out there.
Right, like,
yeah.
I am that powerful. I am that devoted. I am that guy.
That's the guy you want to be friends with.
Right?
Or, maybe you'd stay on the good side of.
Uh-huh. But Pavan is facing some obstacles.
Of course.
He keeps hitting these roadblocks. And, we could look at that and we could say, oh, well, that's just bad luck.
Yeah.
Or, is there something a little deeper there?
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, whenever we see obstacles in these stories, they're usually not just random. There's usually some meaning behind it.
Right.
And I think it makes a lot of sense to think of it as like a symbol for the challenges that everyone faces.
Yeah.
On their path, especially when you're aiming for something like this.
Right.
This big spiritual goal.
Yeah. And, you think about it, like, our own lives, rarely do we just cruise to some big accomplishment.
Yeah, it's always
a journey.
Absolutely. It's never a straight line.
Right. It's full of twists and turns.
Yeah. Ups and downs.
Yeah.
Setbacks, challenges, all that good stuff.
So Pavan, he's not giving up. He is persistent. And he starts consulting a bunch of sages.
Makes sense.
Right. Like,
got to get some advice.
Yeah, I'm hitting all these roadblocks. What am I doing wrong?
Who do you turn to?
Exactly.
It's sages.
Yeah.
The wise ones.
And finally, he gets some advice from Brahma himself.
Yep.
Now we're talking.
So this is high level advice.
Right. Brahma steps in and says, hey, head to the Godavari River.
All right. So we're getting specific now.
Right. And this is where things get really interesting for me because we're moving from this abstract idea of ambition and all of that to an actual place.
Yeah. A real geographical location.
The Godavari River.
The Godavari River. Mm-hmm. This is in India, one of the 7 sacred rivers of Hinduism.
Yeah. And it's revered for its purifying and spiritual power.
Very cool.
Right. So, Havan, he heads to the Godavari. He's got his priest Kashyap by his side. And get this, he manages to complete all 10 sacrifices with just one Ashvamedha.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on. He wanted to do 10 at the same time,
Uh-huh.
hit all these roadblocks, goes to the Godavari.
Yep.
And now he just needs one.
One. It's like a spiritual hack.
That's amazing.
Right. It's like, how did he do that?
What's the secret?
Well, this is where the Dasashvamedika Tirtha comes in. Okay.
Yeah.
So because of this incredible feat, this specific spot on the Godavari gets named the Dasashvamedika Tirtha.
So that means something like the ford of the 10 horse sacrifices.
Exactly. So Tirtha basically means a crossing point.
Yeah.
Often like a ford or a bathing place.
Yeah, often on a river.
Yeah.
And a place that has some real spiritual significance.
Yeah. So the Dasashvamedika Tirtha, it becomes this incredibly powerful place where it is believed you can achieve the merit of performing those 10 horse sacrifices.
So you're telling me I can skip 9 sacrifices and just head straight for this Tirtha?
Well,
sign me up.
I mean, I don't know if it's quite that easy, but It's a pretty cool concept, right?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You just go take a dip and boom.
Yeah, and,
You got the merit.
all those benefits. But there's more to it than that.
Oh, of course, there's always more to the story.
Right. So Havan, he accomplishes this amazing feat.
Yeah.
And he hears an Akashvani.
Ooh, an Akashvani. Now, for those who aren't familiar,
This is like
this is a divine voice.
a divine voice.
Yeah, like a voice from the heavens.
Yeah, and so you think, he's accomplished this incredible thing. The divine voice is going to come down and, sing his praises.
Shower him with blessings.
Right. But instead,
Right.
it says, hey, Avan, focus on feeding the hungry.
Ooh.
Right. You just accomplished this huge spiritual thing, and now you're being told to focus on something seemingly so simple.
Yeah.
Feeding people. What's the connection there?
So I think it's interesting that they're highlighting this idea of anadana.
Anadana, what is that?
So it's the practice of food donation in Hinduism.
Okay.
And it's considered especially powerful when it's done by sacred rivers.
So it's not just events about feeding people.
Right. It's about the context.
Right. It's about
the location.
Yeah.
And the intention behind it.
Yeah. It makes you think about what truly matters.
Yeah. What's really important.
Yeah. You've got this outward display of power and achievement, but then you've got this reminder to focus on kindness and service.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so we've got sacrifice, we've got sacred geography.
Yeah.
But what about those mythical creatures you mentioned?
Ah, yes.
Really?
Let's bring in some of these fun characters.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next tale involves Anjana. And she is an apsara, but she's been cursed with the face of a monkey.
Wait, a monkey-faced apsara?
Yeah, I know.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's a little unexpected.
So apsaras, for those who aren't familiar, are these beautiful.
They're beautiful, celestial nymphs.
Graceful.
Yeah.
Known for their beauty and grace.
Yeah, so imagine the irony.
Right. You're this beautiful celestial nymph, and you've got the face of a monkey. Talk about a contrast.
It's rough. It's rough.
And she's married to this guy named Kasari.
Kasari. Okay, so she's not the only wife.
No. Kasari already has a wife.
You does. Ah, this is getting complicated.
Named Adrika.
Adrika.
Who's been cursed with a cat face.
Wait, so we've got a monkey face and a cat face.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're both married to the same guy.
Okay. Right.
So talk about a complicated family dynamic.
This is a reality show waiting to happen.
Right. And both wives, they really want sons. They want worthy sons.
They want heirs.
Okay.
They want someone to carry on the legacy and, maybe help them out with these curses.
Right. So they go to the sage, Agastya.
Okay. Another wise sage.
Another sage seeking help.
Makes sense. When you have a problem, you go to a sage.
Exactly. And he grants their wishes.
Wow. So he's powerful.
He's a powerful sage. And Anjana, she gives birth to Hanuman.
No way!
Yes, that Hanuman.
The Hanuman.
The mighty monkey god.
The monkey god. I love it.
And Adrika gives birth to Audrey.
Okay.
Who becomes the king of the Pishachas.
The king of the Pishachas. I need a little help here.
Okay, yeah.
Who are the Pishachas?
So Pishachas, think goblins, ghouls.
No.
Often associated with the darker side of existence. A little bit monstrous.
Okay, so we have like a good son and a not so good son.
Well, I don't know if I'd say not so good.
right.
But definitely a contrast. So, Hanuman, born from this monkey-faced mother and a wind god father.
Okay, his dad's a wind god.
Vayu.
Okay. That explains a lot.
And he embodies superhuman power and virtue. And then we have Adri, this king of monsters, with a cat-faced mother. What do you think?
It's like they're playing with these animal associations, right?
Yeah, it's
so the monkey, and then the cat, and these different kinds of creatures.
Yeah, and they almost foreshadow their destinies.
Okay.
Right.
I like that. It's
so clever how these storytellers wove that all together, and then both sons wanting to help their mothers.
Oh, that's sweet.
They learn about the purifying power of the Godavari River.
Of course they do.
Right. Because it seems like
Godavari can solve all your problems.
Yeah. And this leads to the naming of 2 more Tirthas along the river.
All right, let's hear it.
So we've got the Paisacha Tirtha.
Paisacha, okay.
Yeah.
Linked to the Pishachas.
Which is linked to Audrey.
Okay.
And the Pishachas. And then we have the Anjana Tirtha.
The Anjana Tirtha, okay. I'm seeing a pattern here.
Connected to Anjana. And Hanuman. So
yeah.
It seems like this river holds the power to cleanse and transform.
Yeah. Not just physically.
Yeah. but spiritually as well.
but also spiritually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we need to pause here and let our listener kind of absorb all of this.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground. We've got a lot of characters. We've got a lot of locations, a lot of themes.
Right. But we'll be back soon to dive in a little deeper.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
So we've covered ambitious kings, monkey-faced apsaras, these powerful tirthas along the Godavari. It's all connected to this idea of transformation, both spiritual and physical. But I'm curious, is there anything in the source material about the Godavari itself?
Ooh, that's a good question. Beyond its spiritual significance.
Right. Like, we know it's sacred.
Uh-huh. But is there more to it?
Yeah, what else is there? What else can you tell us?
Well, one thing that really stood out to me is that the Godavari is a perennial river.
A perennial river. What does that mean?
So that means it flows year-round, which is a pretty big deal.
Okay.
Why? Especially in a region that experiences monsoons and dry spells. So, you've got these periods of intense rain, and then you've got these periods of no rain at all.
So to have this reliable source of water,
Yeah. It's huge for the people who live along its banks.
it becomes not just a source of life.
Right. But also a symbol of resilience, abundance.
So the Godavari is both life-giving
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
and sacred.
Yeah,
And it blends those practical and spiritual elements.
it really
I
does.
wonder if that contributes to its power
Yeah, I think that duality is really important.
in these stories.
Absolutely. Because it reminds us that the physical and the spiritual aren't separate realms.
Right. It's all interconnected.
Yeah, they're intertwined. They influence each other.
And this makes me think about the Dasashwamedika Tirtha.
Okay, yeah. The place where King Pavan performed his 10 sacrifices.
One source mentions that. Taking a dip there is believed to cleanse you of all your sins.
Like hitting the reset button
Yeah.
on your karmic record.
Right. It's like,
That's amazing. Who wouldn't want that?
yeah, a spiritual fresh start.
Exactly. A clean slate.
Do you think a lot of people are drawn to that idea?
Or absolutely. I think it's a very human longing to want to cleanse ourselves.
Something renewed.
Yeah, to start fresh, to let go of the past.
And it's not just in Hinduism.
Right. We see this across many cultures and traditions.
This idea of,
Is sacred waters
yeah,
having this purifying quality.
it's almost like the Godavari, through its constant flow, represents that ongoing cycle
Yeah.
of cleansing and renewal.
That's a beautiful way to put it. I love that.
And it connects back to the Akashvani's message to Pavan.
Right. It's not just about external rituals, but about internal transformation as well.
So we've got these cleansing waters, these acts of generosity. But I'm curious, what about these specific tirthas?
Yeah, what do they offer?
We've heard about the Dasashvamedika Tirtha, but what about the others? Like the Anjana Tirtha?
Okay, so each tirtha is associated with a specific deity or event from mythology.
Okay, so tell me about the Anjana Tirtha.
Okay, so the Anjana Tirtha, this is where Hanuman's mother, Anjana, is said to have bathed.
To cleanse herself of the monkey curse. So just by bathing. In a certain spot on the river, you could potentially alleviate a curse.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
It's not quite that simple, but it highlights this belief in the power of these sacred places.
Yeah, to facilitate transformation and healing.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about the Paisacha Tirtha?
Okay, so the Paisacha Tirtha,
It's named after Audrey.
who was the king of the Pachachas.
Right. Does it have that same cleansing power?
It does, but it also holds a deeper significance.
Okay.
Because remember, Audrey was born from a mother who was cursed with a cat face.
Right, and he ruled over these
Who were associated with darkness and monstrosity.
Yet he sought purification.
And he used his power for good. So the Paisacha Tirtha reminds us that even those who seem different or ostracized can find redemption and acceptance.
It's almost like a message of inclusivity and compassion.
Yeah, extending even to those who might be feared or misunderstood. It challenges us to look beyond appearances and recognize the inherent potential for goodness in all beings.
Okay, so we've got tirthas for cleansing sins, breaking curses, and even embracing those who are different. It's all very powerful stuff.
It really is. It makes you think.
But something I'm still trying to wrap my head around.
Yeah, okay.
We've talked about Hanuman being born from a monkey-faced mother and a wind godfather.
Right, an unusual combination.
But what does that really mean?
Yeah, what's the significance?
How does that shape his role in Hindu mythology?
So I think it's really important
Yeah.
to understand that Hanuman's birth
is really key to his unique position in the Hindu pantheon.
Yeah, so being born from Anjana, who was already part monkey,
Right.
this imbued him with strength, agility, and those signature monkey-like traits.
Okay. Makes sense.
But then, his father, Vayu the wind god, granted him speed, a connection to the element of air, and a certain ethereal quality.
So it's like a blend of earthly
and divine
physical power and spiritual strength.
That's fascinating.
But of all the animals, why a monkey?
That's a good question.
Why choose a monkey?
Well, I think we have to look at
The symbolism.
Okay. What do monkeys represent?
So monkeys in a lot of cultures represent intelligence, playfulness, adaptability. They're able to navigate different environments with ease.
Okay. They're clever.
Yeah.
And Hanuman
Yeah.
embodies all of these traits.
Yeah, he really does.
And it makes him such a relatable and inspiring figure.
Right. He's got the strength.
Right. This power, but he's also
Mischievous. He's a trickster, but also loyal and devoted to Rama.
Yeah. He's complex.
It's a really compelling combination.
It really is. And it's worth noting that Hanuman isn't just a mythical figure.
Right.
He's deeply revered and worshipped by millions of people, even today.
It's amazing how these ancient tales
I know. They still resonate
continue to resonate, yeah.
with people across generations.
It speaks to their enduring power and the universal themes they explore.
Absolutely. And it brings us back to the importance of storytelling. These myths, they're not just entertaining narratives.
Right. They're vessels of wisdom.
Yeah. Cultural values.
Yeah.
Spiritual teachings.
They offer insights into human nature, our struggles, our aspirations. Okay, so we've explored kings, apsaras, monkey gods, the transformative power of the Godavari River. But I'm noticing something interesting.
Okay, what's that?
We've talked about a lot of male figures.
Yeah. King Pavan, Hanuman, Adri.
What about the female perspective?
Ooh, that's a great point.
What about Anjana and Adrika?
Yeah, we can't forget about them. They're not just passive bystanders.
Right. They're active agents.
Who drive the narrative forward.
So it's not just about the men in these stories.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about understanding the roles that these women played and how they shaped the events.
Yeah. They're not just there to be wives and mothers.
Right. They have their own journeys, their own struggles, their own triumphs. Look at Anjana. She's cursed with the face of a monkey, yet she gives birth to Hanuman, this powerful and revered deity.
It's amazing.
Her story speaks to resilience.
Yeah. Maternal love.
Yeah.
The ability to transcend physical limitations.
Adrika, despite being ostracized for her cat-like features.
She raises Adri, who becomes a righteous king.
Despite ruling over beings associated with darkness.
It challenges those assumptions.
Right. About appearance and inner worth. Their stories offer valuable perspectives and challenge us to reconsider traditional narratives. They remind us that strength, compassion, and the capacity for transformation exists in all beings.
Yeah. Regardless of outward appearance or societal expectations.
So it's like these stories are encouraging us to look beyond the surface.
Recognize the complexity and the depth of each character.
Yeah. Regardless of gender or perceived monstrosity. It's not about what's on the outside. Right. It's about what's on the inside. And that's one of the beautiful things about mythology, isn't it?
It really is. It invites us to explore these multifaceted characters.
And glean wisdom from their journeys.
Their triumphs, their struggles.
Okay, so we've got these fascinating characters, these powerful Tirthas, and this river that embodies both practical and spiritual significance. It's all coming together beautifully.
It is. It's all connected.
Before we wrap up this deep dive, there's one more detail.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
I'd love to explore. One of the sources mentions another Tirtha.
Okay. What's this one called?
Called the Kumar Tirtha.
The Kumar Tirtha.
Okay, what can you tell us about this one?
All right, so the Kumar Tirtha. This one's associated with Kartikeya.
Kartikeya. Who is he?
So he is the son of Shiva and Parvati.
Okay. And he's a prominent deity in Hinduism.
Okay.
Often depicted as a warrior god riding a peacock.
Which is pretty cool.
A peacock. Okay. I'm intrigued.
Yeah. It's a good look.
What's the connection between Kartikeya and the Godavari?
So the story goes that Kartikeya, after a battle with a demon, was feeling the weight of his actions. You know, he had taken some lives.
Okay. Even though it's a demon, it still weighed on him.
So he sought purification. and he came to the Godavari and bathed at a specific spot. That became known as the Kumar Tirtha.
So it's another example of the Godavari's power
To cleanse.
to cleanse
And renew.
and renew.
What's unique about the Kumar Tirtha?
Well, it's believed that simply hearing about the Kumar Tirtha can bestow certain benefits.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming listening to this podcast
That
doesn't count.
I'm afraid not, but it does speak to
Okay, the belief in the power of
these sacred sites
to transmit positive energy.
and blessings.
Yeah, even from afar. So even though we can't all physically go to these places, connecting with them through stories,
Through our imagination.
can't
And still an impact. It makes you wonder, what other hidden gem
not tucked away in these ancient tales,
just
waiting to be discovered.
That's the beauty of exploration, isn't it?
It really is. There's always more to uncover, more to learn, more to connect with.
Absolutely. But before we get too carried away
Yeah.
with our explorations, I think it's time to pause here.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, so we made it. The final part of our Godavari River deep dive.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. Tings, sages, monkey face apsaras, powerful tirthas. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have. And I feel like we've unpacked so many layers of meaning.
Yeah, and you know what's really striking me is how these stories, while rooted in ancient Hindu mythology, they offer insights that feel incredibly relevant to our lives today.
I agree.
Like, it's not just about ancient India.
Right.
These themes, they resonate across time and cultures.
Absolutely.
Think about King Pavan.
Okay, yeah.
His initial focus
Yeah.
on those grand rituals and external achievements. I feel like that's something we can all relate to. We get caught up in outward appearances, material pursuits. And then we have the Akashvani reminding us to focus on feeding the hungry. It's like a course correction, a reminder to check our priorities, make sure we're aligning our actions with our values.
Beautifully said.
And then there's the idea of transformation embodied by the Godavari itself. And these tirthas, it's powerful. It is because it reminds us that change is possible. We can cleanse ourselves of past burdens and embrace new possibilities.
I love that.
And not just individual transformation, but societal transformation as well.
Okay.
The Paisacha Tirtha, it challenges us to reconsider our perceptions of those who are different.
Absolutely.
To embrace inclusivity and recognize the potential for goodness in everyone.
Everyone.
Powerful message, especially in a world
where division and judgment often prevail.
Yeah.
These stories remind us that compassion and understanding
can be powerful forces for positive change.
It's a good reminder.
So we've got these incredible stories, thought-provoking themes, and this sense that it all connects to our own lives.
It does.
But I'm curious, what about you?
Yeah.
What resonates most with you from this deep dive?
You know, I think for me, it's the interconnectedness of it all.
Okay.
The way these stories blend mythology, geography, spiritual teachings. It creates this tapestry of meaning that feels both ancient and timeless. It's a reminder that we're all part of a larger narrative, connected to something greater than ourselves.
And for our listener out there exploring these ideas with us, I'd love to circle back to that question we posed earlier.
Okay.
If you could choose one of these tirthas to visit, which would it be and why?
Tough choice.
I know.
They're all so interesting. They each offer something unique.
I mean, the Sashvamedika Tirtha, with its promise of 10 sacrifices worth of merit, that's pretty tempting.
It is.
Imagine wiping your karmic slate clean.
Just like that, all in one go. But then there's the Anjana Tirtha, where Hanuman's mother bathed. It speaks to maternal love, resilience, the power to overcome challenges.
You've convinced me. The Anjana Tirtha it is. It's a place that celebrates strength, devotion, that unwavering bond between a mother and son.
I love it.
Plus, who wouldn't want a chance encounter with Hanuman?
Right.
So it seems. We've both been captivated by these tales of the Godavari River and the sacred sites that dot its banks.
We have.
It's been a deep dive into not just mythology, but into the human experience itself.
Beautifully put.
So to our listener, we encourage you to continue exploring these stories, these places, these themes. Who knows what other treasures you might uncover.
Absolutely. Keep exploring Keep questioning and keep diving deep.
Thanks for joining us.